remove the M.2 drive cover.
At 9:23, you were ready to work from home. We got time with the CEO. It's in 40 minutes at the office.
Copilot, based on this rollout plan, what questions should we expect?
At 9:40, you were ready for almost anything.
This is the Backbone 1. All you need is your phone, and it instantly transforms into a gaming console. It's lightweight and extremely portable, perfect for gaming on the go. Play hundreds of apps, console, and emulated games. It also works as a standalone controller, meaning you can plug it into your laptops, your tablets, and even my desktop computer works with it. And this is exactly the same as the previous version, so no changes there. You just put in your drive, and then you make sure and secure it with this screw, and you're good to go. Got to remove the fan. We're just going to remove this little cover right here. That went flying. One of the things that I love that they've started doing is they made the fan side connector white and the motherboard side connector black. So if you need to remove this, you pull on the white part, not the black part. If you put your pliers too far down in there and start pulling up, you're going to be pulling on the black part. And I'm going to grab firmly, but not too hard, or else it's going to squish the connector. I'm going to rock back and forth as I pull up. And there we go. Now each of these fan screws is different. So I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to lay it next to the hole. You can take a screenshot if you need to take this apart yourself. It's important to know there's not only different sizes of screws, they're different threads. This thread is a fine pitch, it screws down into metal, same with this one. This is a coarse pitch that screws down into plastic, and same with this one. What I try to do sometimes is just actually leave them in the little fan cage as I pull it out. Just leave them on there when I get the fan out. Luckily, they do have it marked, so we do know that this is indeed a fan. And there are the numbers on the fan: 12 volts, 1.69 amps, and this is a different fan than any of the other PS5s. So if you're trying to replace it, it does have to be from the PS5 still in. So I'm not sure what this means, but some of these holes, like this screw hole, has one dot next to it. This one over here, under the warranty sticker, has two dots next to it. This one over here has two dots. This one over here has two dots. This one up here has two dots. And all the rest of them, oh, we've got one dot over here, two dots over here. This isn't even a screw hole. This is just a hole in the plastic. Tell me what you think that means in the comments. And next, we need to remove this sticker. There we go. And we need to remove the case screws. Now with all of those removed, I will let you take a screenshot if you need to know which screws go where. There we go. Now we can remove this top plastic piece. In the original PS5, there was 43 screws holding this plate on. Luckily, they significantly reduced the amount of totally necessary screws to only 34. Now, all of those screws, except for this screw, are all exactly the same, so you don't need to worry about where they go, except for this one right here is a very long screw. Also keep in mind when you're reassembling this that these holes with the 4 marks around them, that means that no screws go on there at this point. So none there, none there, none there, none there, none there, and then all of these do have screws in them. If you're trying to do this yourself, just be super careful. This is not held down by anything over here. So if you accidentally bump it or something, it can easily bend this heat pipe. So just be super careful around this. It's pretty fragile. It's interesting that you've got to bend these wires right here. I don't know why they would have done that. It makes me feel like they just had some wires laying around that were too long, so they threw a bend in it. Who knows, though. Now, for this ribbon cable right here, I saw one other teardown online already. It said you need to, like, push this metal piece out or something. I don't think that's the case. I've never done that before. All I do is push it down, and then this cable just pulls right out. I don't think that metal piece is supposed to come out of that connector any more than it is. You guys tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Like, I need to say that. You guys will do that anyway. There we go. And here we go. We've got a bunch of thermal paste down here. This is a little hokey. So this whole piece is just held on by these adhesive strips right here. That's interesting. Nothing too crazy here. I do want to take a look at this HDMI port and see if it's any better than the original. But we've got to get these clamp screws off first, then we'll have a look at that. 2 more screws holding the board down.
My name is Tia Estelle. I am the guide of the stars, the guardian of the constellations. I'm from a faraway place called Ort. Time to go home, Cherries. Now everything is in its proper place. Oh, Camelot is singing. The stars must be fading.
A star of death heralds the birth of the night. All the dreams fade, and the hope is them. That is the nature of guidance. Do you know why I travel to the secret? The 13th constellation will bring ruin to the world. My mission is to find and transmit it. See it. You are the 13th constellation.
All right, and here we go. We have any oxidation on the APU yet? Nope. It actually looks pretty good so far. Dry spots on the APU seem to be a major problem with the other versions of PS5, so I don't see any changes with any of this that's going to make that any different on this one, but who knows. The PS5 Slim motherboard has a EDM040 for the motherboard number. The 1215 was the EDM030. And here is the PS5 HDMI port from the other models, and it's literally exactly the same. So that's a little disappointing because these HDMI ports really aren't the best. Repair shops see a ton of these come in for HDMI ports, and they're just kind of weak on these PS5s, and honestly, they were weak on the PS4s as well. That's one thing the Xbox does way better, generally speaking, is their HDMI ports. That being said, if you're careful when you plug your cord in and out, it's going to be just fine. So this is the PS5 Slim heatsink and cooling radiators. And this is the one from the 1215. The 1215 had some radiators basically right on the chip. The Slim does not have that. It also seems like the Slim's radiators are probably a little bit smaller overall than these three on the 1215 model. Let's have a look at the power supply. So the power supply is interesting. This is the 1215, and this one is very similar between all of the previous models of PS5. This one is obviously completely different, and I think they probably had to redesign it so it would fit into a smaller space. This one is just such a chunkster. For the 1215 model, we've got an ADP 400FR, output 12 volts, 31 amps. And on the Slim, we've got an ADP 400GR, 12 volts, 31 amps. So essentially exactly the same ratings. Let's take a look at the inside. It is nice that this power supply just pops right out. It would be really nice, though, if it popped out from the other side, because if it did that, then all you'd have to do is remove that cover, and then it would just pop right out. But obviously, that would just be too repairable. And here is the awkward power supply. I do have to stress, don't mess with power supplies. It's not worth getting shocked. They're hard to get into, and it's just a dangerous thing to do, so just don't do it. This one has never been turned on, and I've double-checked to make sure the capacitors are discharged, but also I'm still not touching them. Over here is sort of the control chip, and this is one of the things that commonly go bad on these. This one is another, some sort of control chip as well, and then we also have another one over here. I don't know a ton about these power supplies, but I have, on the PS4, I have replaced some of those parts. These are the huge capacitors, and then we actually have quite a few other smaller ones, but still big. And next, let's have a look inside this disk drive. Kind of assuming we need to remove this black piece. Kind of like a frame. So those 3 screws on the top, and those 4 silver screws on the bottom. And will that get us in? Alright, gets that part off. This is the disk drive for the 1215 model. It's roughly about the same size, so I'm expecting the inside to be not too different. Let's remove 1, 2, 3 black screws. Now I do want to note that there is a serial number on this disk drive, but I want to see the inside and see the laser and stuff like that looks like. Let's remove this bottom plate. Check out the roller assembly and the laser. I love that this little board is easily replaceable. It's the one of these switches, and sometimes these switches can break. So it's really nice that this is pretty easily replaceable. Okay, and here we go. And this is similar to the other models of PlayStation 5, but definitely different. We still have the same rollers and a similar loading mechanism. With these 4 screws removed, we can actually pull this whole thing out. We can just pull out this laser assembly right here with that little ribbon cable removed. We can flip it up. And there we go. That is the inside. And this is the KEM 497AAA. Overall, as far as repairability, the PS5 Slim is about the same as the other PS5s. It's got the exact same HDMI port that can give some problems. It's got liquid metal that can result in dry spots and possibly overheating. The cooling system is undetermined whether it'll be a problem or not, and the rest of the console is basically just the same. The glossy plates are definitely a lose for me, but they look cool right out of the box. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you have a good one.
Contact local agent Tita de Guzman for an auto quote today.
I bought an Xbox from every generation, but they're all broken. So in this video, I'm going to see if I can fix them, starting with this original Xbox Crystal Edition. So like I said, this is the Xbox Crystal Edition. It's sort of uncommon, and they go from anywhere between $100 to $200 on eBay used. So these are worth, a decent amount. I've got it all plugged in. Let's see if it turns on. It does. And disk tray. Oh, disk tray does not work. Okay. So we know that's a problem here. I don't know if it's the only problem, but that's what we're going to start with. And this has for sure been taken apart before. We're missing actually all the feet, and these 2 screws have clearly been unscrewed through the labels. So I don't know what we're going to find out here. At least this thing starts up. But who knows what we'll find when we get inside. And with all the screws removed, flip it over and get it opened up. And here's the inside. So we definitely need to do some work in here. I do want to remove this whole middle piece here and have a look at the board. So I'm going to get these cables removed. Now we just got a few more screws to remove, and we can get this whole kind of mid piece out. I do appreciate that whoever worked on this before me, at least so far, seems to have not lost any screws. That's always nice. Okay, I'm at the hard drive out. Now we can get to the disk drive. There we go. Yeah, we got a mod chip on there. That's what I thought. A little dusty in here, but the capacitors look good. And it looks like they did, at least a decent job on the mod chip. Can't quite tell, but wires are on there solid, so I don't know. I think we're probably good there. Let's figure out what's going on with this disk drive and why it won't come out and take a disk in. And with these 4 screws out, we can then lift this top lid up and see what we got on the inside. Definitely dirty. Got quite a bit of fuzz over in here. Bunch of dirt up in here, so this definitely needs a good cleaning. I'm not sure if there's anything else going on in here though. We need to get in and check the band on this thing. And the other side. Gears all nice and greased up for the laser. That's good. Hopefully the laser's good on this. That almost looks like some sort of bug carcass. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Let's get down and check out this belt. Okay, now I'm not actually an expert on these, but what I'm going to do is turn this gear to get this tray to come out. Just, well, almost. Just like that. I don't know if that's the best way to do it or not, but certainly one way that works. Alright, so this belt, yeah, that's a problem, I think. So just watch the laser as I pull the tray in and out. You can see it'll kind of like bulge out as we go a different way. So first thing we're going to do is replace this. I don't know if there's any other problems or not. Yeah, there's like a permanent bulge right there. So that's definitely a problem. I don't know if that's the only problem with this, but we're going to fix that first. So I'm just going to use a pair of tweezers. Remove it from this little wheel right here. Remove it from that one. Yeah, you can see it's just in like that permanent position. So then we'll place this one on that wheel, and then on this wheel, or pulley I should say, I guess. Okay. That looks better. Heck yeah, that might be the only problem with this thing. Obviously you can't feel it on camera, but it is pretty dry and brittle. Now with that replaced, you need to go through and get all of this dust and hair and gunk out of here. You can already see what that's gotten out just with that little bit. Okay, now that this is clean, I'm going to take this opportunity, since it's all apart, to re-grease the rails on this, and that'll just help this tray slide in and out better. And I'm just going to put a little bit of grease along here. Don't want to put a ton of grease anywhere on this disk drive, just because you get too much on here, it can start getting places that you don't want it. So I'm just going to be putting it kind of along in places along here that rub against other plastic pieces. This should help with it coming in and out more smoothly. So I'm going to do a bunch more re-greasing, and then we'll get this thing back installed and see if that's all it took to fix this one.
Dogman is streaming exclusively on Peacock on May 30th.
Why?
Because Peacock is the home of Dogman.
Why?
Because that's how it's on TV stream.
Why?
Oh, because it's the only place with all of this.
Is this a fun?
So much fun. Dogman. It's streaming only on Peacock May 30th.
Okay, then I'm going to push this back and forth manually a few times just to help distribute that grease. Make sure it's not going anywhere that I don't want it to. That's feeling pretty good. Oh, we got a little dust here we missed. Okay, this is feeling good. I'm going to put this thing back in and see if that's all it took to fix it. And the bottom metal piece on, we can install the top metal plate, top cover, and the 4 screws, and it's ready to go in. Okay, the disk drive's all in. Now I need to get the hard drive in. Go. Plug in the cable. Just like that. Alright. Now we're ready to test it. Okay, got it all started up. Let's press the eject button and hope that tray comes out. Of course it does. Alright, so this one's fixed. So we fixed the Xbox Original Crystal Edition. Let's move on to the Xbox 360. Oh, and I did 3D print feed for this Xbox Original. I know that was bothering some of you, so you're welcome. This is the Xbox 360 Elite. It's the Resident Evil Edition. I bought this with the box and controllers and game and everything, and so this can actually go for $200 to $300 with the entire retail bundle like I have. Let's get it hooked up and see what's wrong. Okay, we're all plugged in. Let's see if it turns on. It does. Let's see if the disk drive works. Okay, it comes out. Has a disk inside. We do show a picture on the screen. It is reading the disk. But when I listen to it, it's like trying to spin up and then stopping and spinning up again. And we have just open tray. So there seems to be a problem inside the disk drive. Usually it's a laser. Let's get this thing apart. All right, and I've never actually opened these things up before. But from what I've read, you start like that. Okay, that looks good so far. This must be the warranty sticker we got here. Next, we'll remove the hard drive, just like that. Now we need to remove this plastic piece. Just using this tool to push in on the plastic tabs. as we go along. It looks like somebody may have already done this and broken some of them. Okay, and we got all of those off. Now same thing on the other side. Now we have all of these little clips we need to release. Actually, I'm going to start over here. Okay, there we go. And now the back side. Someone's rolling around in there. They do make opening tools for these, and I think I actually do have one around here somewhere. But I don't know that I'm going to use it. Okay, there we go. Good so far. Now, same thing over here. Now we just got these ones. There we go. So this little tool is just pushing on these plates right here that lock into the tabs. So with those removed, should be able to pull up on this. And there we go. Now we're going to remove these screws, and these screws, and then we can get to the inside. With those screws out, we will remove the eject button. There we go. And now we are inside the Xbox. So this is the main part we need to get to. It actually isn't too dirty in here. It's actually looking pretty clean. I do have to say, this is one of, if not the first time I have ever taken an Xbox 360 apart. Okay, and it comes right out. And we need to remove these wires in the back. Just like that. And now let's get inside the disk drive and see what's going on. Okay, and with those 4 screws removed, we can void the warranty seal. That's crazy. This thing has not been repaired before.
Easy. Easy. It was easy. How? Because when you were distracted, I was able to tie you up without your clothes on. Because I want to. You were distracted, and I took the chance to tie you up when you're naked. Now be a good girl. I won't take long. Look in your stomach. You can guess what I did to you. That's right. I have slit your tail. village with your family and brother killed by this person. I am sorry, dear. There's this note I found that you wanted to restore your car and you to have a family with him. That's what the note said. Try to for the love world. Yes, I do. Your mother, right before she died, she used to run that village. I knew her really well. No, that's right. I met your mother. Your mother was from the scene. She was my teammate. Her name was. She married my personal boss, last name Uchiha. same clan, the Uzumaki clan. She married a rogue ninja, which was your father, Sasuke Uchiha. They fell in love, and the first child they had was you. The only reason they didn't name you after my last name, because that will put you in danger of enemies of your father. That's why they gave you Uzumaki name. Your actual name is Haley Uzumaki. Your mother protected you. It's not because your mother didn't tell you anything, because your mother wanted to protect you and to have a better future than she ever did. She was a good person. I consider her a friend. She was a member of the Uzumaki clan and the leader as well. But right after she died, she left me her plan to protect her, to protect the clan. And she told me to find her daughter and marry her to restore the Uzumaki clan, which is you. that she trusts me with you, it's because your mother really trusts me with you. That's why the note said that you will marry Haley Uzumaki, which is you. Since you're the strongest of the Uzumaki clan, you will have the beautiful body that you will reward me with. That's what your mother said. Not really. Ever since, well, ever since Boruto Uzumaki became Hokage, music doesn't exist. He doesn't want anyone to listen to any electronics. Well, he's the son of the last Hokage, which was the seventh, Naruto Uzumaki. sister. She runs stuff up in shop. Your older sister is married to Boruto Uzumaki.